Just answering questions. WAPTech. I'm in a part of my state that is being inundated with air quality problems due to forest fires. So, and this also makes it to where I can't run an air conditioner in a heat wave because the air conditioner lowers the pressure inside of the building and pulls the smoke in through every crack and crevice around the door. So let's have fun debating religion. That ought to make things better. So the video you're going to be watching is about arguments from ignorance, otherwise known as answers in Genesis style politicization, politicking of religion. And I'm going to make a couple of statements here. In my opinion, throughout history, religion has always been a way of having rule without consent of the people. It doesn't matter if you want it to be believed a certain way. The minority of the population gets to run the country if the religion does. And you can see this being used as the battle cry by the Republicans this year and every year. Ever since evangelicals who preach that not only the world is coming to an end any day now so they can get away with whatever they want to morally, but also they're going to try to cause it to happen if they need to by launching nuclear warheads. These are the people who are driving this. And now we have ones that are even crazier because they're not religiously bound, because they're not bound by reality in any way. Even a religious person has some level of reasonableness where a fact they've directly observed will be acknowledged unless they are a zealot. A zealot will not acknowledge a fact. If you show them something happening in front of them, they'll just defiantly say, I didn't see that. And you find them in the comment section on YouTube and on Facebook. That's where they occupy. That's where they are. Because this is the greatest way right now to manipulate the masses with the opiate of religion. Now, I'm not trying to sound smart. I've obviously failed if I was trying to. So, someone brought up something that keeps being brought up. The Earth is only 6,000 years old. Now, this is a defiant, over-the-top, non-factual statement made by people. And they're encouraged in many belief systems to say something like this. It doesn't matter what belief system. And deliberately not look up the counter-arguments and act surprised when you bring up counter-arguments that are based on being able to show that this doesn't make any sense. I'm just going to get to the point. The estimate for the age of the Earth is based on counting the ages of people in the Bible, taking them literally at one time, and deciding that the Earth has to be at least 6,000 years old. Not at most, at least. I know that's not what anybody wants to hear, and I know you will find a religious text and a website screaming like harpies that it means it can't be more than 6,000 years old because, again, it's a defiant statement. The emperor is wearing clothes. You just say it because you're part of the group. Bah, and that's it. It has nothing to do with the person really believing this. You can show them sedimentary rock and reproduce this in a lab to show them how long it would take. And you can do it in a short period of time. It just wouldn't be correct. It would crumble. But you can show them how, if it was allowed to sit long enough and go through percolation of materials, it would eventually build up. And you can show them on a microscopic level how long it would take to get a certain level of cohesion and infill and compression at pressure and temperature. And you can show them, yeah, it would literally take millions of years with miles and miles of buildup over the top of something. And it doesn't matter if it's factual. People practice doublethink. So when someone says very confidently, especially if they're being defiant, that the Earth is only 6,000 years old and God created it, etc., they're basically inviting you to get into an argument so they can rattle your cage. It's like someone yelling "soy boy" at me because I'm wearing a smoke mask because it's a smog mask because we have a fire in the area. I like being able to taste my coffee instead of chewing it. Now, I know I've gotten to the point here, but again, the claim that the Earth is 6,000 years old is a misconception of the person who made the assertion. Yes, there are actual ways to prove this, but it doesn't matter because every religion will immediately say that's faked. The person didn't say it was at least 6,000 years old because the Bible is inerrant, it is never using a euphemism or anything, etc. except that we have written documentation from more than 6,000 years ago that shows the Earth is older. Well, we can adjust the number. No, you are not allowed to. If you believe in the inerrancy of the Bible, and if you do the estimate the way you did, and you set its maximum of 6,000 years old, and you find a written document that's 6,000 or 7,000 years old, that means a human being was walking the Earth and writing stuff down or putting paintings. Well, that's done through carbon dating, and that's all part of some conspiracy. No, I mean literally they time and date stamped it because people have been recording time and history by ages or time periods for a very long time in some way. This is not a debatable point anymore. It's not 6,000 years old only because we have documentation and evidence that shows that human beings were cognizant and writing stuff down and making notes of things from over 6,000 years ago. So it's not 6,000 years old. And again, it was a minimum estimate for the age of the Earth based on a set of stories in a Bible, written as if a person was watching Adam and Eve become existent. But that's a prophet who said God told him that. Someone said God told them something. And this is where we can't be in the same conversation. If you believe in the inerrancy of your church, which is a non-impeachable political system that won't go the fuck away, no matter what rule or law you create, I'm not obliged to listen to it. And again, if you're watching and you're religious, religion tells you what to do. You are not allowed to tell anybody else what to do. If you try to do it, I have an absolute right to tell you to go fuck yourself, and I don't have to listen to you. Baiting me at a coffee shop, at a corner, at an intersection, halfway through it. Yes, people go out of their way to troll. Okay, it's just getting it done. Hundreds of feet of Dolomite deposits, dinosaur bones, petroleum from years and years of rotted plant life that you can actually test. It just takes a while, but you can do the test. Indicates the Earth is way over 7,000 years old or 6,000 years old. This doesn't prevent a God who could just make petroleum using millions of years of rotted forests and vegetation. 70 million years would be a couple of minutes for a God, or nothing to a God. Why would someone think a God Almighty wouldn't or couldn't start the planet 70 million years ago or billions of years ago just as easily as 6,000 years ago? Why is this happening? Some people didn't chant, God made the Earth 6,000 years ago, and God made us a few thousand years ago. Is this because they don't really like the idea of being, quote, from a monkey? What if we were from apes or not? Who cares? Wouldn't change a thing. And again, I'll put this up. Why wouldn't a God be an efficient builder of an intelligent species by making a bunch of not so intelligent species, see which one's smarter, and then get it smarter? We see adaptation like this all over the planet. We see evolution happening. Well, it's micro versus macro evolution. That's chicken shit. And then you get somebody who in the comment section is ready and willing to go. They have the cut and paste of everything they've ever been told by Kent Hovind and whoever else told them what to think. Instead of going out and actually testing whether any of this stuff is testable. You can test whether or not chemtrails happen. You can watch a person in a news story, test it, and show you the results on the screen, and because they got the number off by X, 10 to 1, because they couldn't read numbers on a sheet of paper, you can quote what they said verbally and ignore that they were misreading a normal rate of aluminum in the atmosphere, in the water, and in the dirt. Aluminum is an extremely common element in the ground. Don't like it? I'll repeat it again. It's a very common element. Again, a person who screams as a true believer or a zealot doesn't give a shit if they're telling you a truth or not. That's why they say truth all the time. That's why they claim that everybody else is bedeviled when they're the ones doing the work of the devil. They don't care. And I've come to that conclusion a long time ago because I saw that it doesn't matter how many facts they have. When I challenge someone, are you claiming you've never heard this information before? You have to answer me. No, I don't. We're in person. This isn't the internet, asshole. You've heard this discussion before. No, I haven't. Yes, you have. Yesterday. with another person in the same building. You're proselytizing. You enjoy conflict. This is your way of picking a fight in a schoolyard and getting away with it, because in a normal, healthy society, we don't punch the living dog shit out of you for being a impudent asshole who picks fights with people at coffee shops or in the line at the store to get their groceries because you have nothing better to do. Because this is literally your hobby, being a sociopath. And that's when it gets, well, no, you've been diagnosed as a sociopath. No, I haven't. Yes, you have. Everybody is allowed to judge you, not just God, because we have to practice good judgment. And if your behavior pattern is that you lie about what happened 10 minutes ago or yesterday, when there are witnesses to it, no one has to listen to you or talk to you, and no one should. Anyone who engages in a conversation with you is feeding your need to have a negative reaction to people. And everybody in the room can choose to not talk to you. But you go from table to table to table harassing people. You're not even intending to convert people. You're doing this so that you can pick a fight with people. This is somebody who escaped from the internet, as I say. And that's why this video is going to be aggravating to some people. Are you doing this because you get off on harassing people, yelling soy boy as you drive past me when I'm going back and forth from the store, because I put a mask over my mouth so I can taste the coffee when I get home? Right now, there's enough... Excuse me, I have to do this. No choice. There's just enough soot and crap in the air now that I can't smell it, but I can taste it, because my sense of smell can adapt to this, and okay, I'm kind of used to it a little bit. But when I breathe in and out through my mouth, I can taste it. And it's not that I'm tasting the smell of the air. I'm tasting the chemical compounds from fires happening 30 miles away from here. The wind has been shifting all morning and pushing it this way. It now shifted the other way, and it may go away soon. I hope it does. At least that's what the weather system is, the weather channel is showing the air going the other way. But my mouth can taste it because your sense of taste and smell are made different sensitivities to the same chemicals, because ingesting burnt wood is much more dangerous than having it be sensed in the air and breathing it in and out. As far as immediacy, this literally makes me sick to my stomach, and it's in the building, and I can't get rid of it. We have air filters where I'm living, and this is going to be really, really hard to deal with. It literally makes me vomiting, bad kind of feeling, queasy, nauseous, because it contains partially burnt, volatile organic compounds, VOCs. Human beings adapted to this millennia ago, or millions of years ago, like every other animal, that we sense fire and smoke for danger reasons, and our lungs clean it out by making mucus, and we basically flush it out. But ingesting it in our mouth means our body tries to digest it, so we're oversensitive to it. Survival of the fittest. Keep your mouth shut when there's a fire. Well, I'm indoors and I'm doing this video. So, I mean, you can look up every proof you want to, whatever argument you want to have, because you want to have an argument on the internet. But someone comes along, can you explain why people are like this? Yes, I can. They're trolls. That's what we call them on the internet. They're not Karens, they're trolls. They get off on causing conflict. That's what they do. They instigate shit, because that's a pathological behavior. It has nothing to do with religion. It's just the person. Unfortunately, some belief systems tolerate or even encourage and attract that kind of person. I know lots of religious people who don't have this argument in a vacuum. They say, yeah, it's at least 6,000 years old. That's what we have. And it's a story in the Bible. They understand that the Bible is, it's like Aesop's fables. It's not to be taken absolutely literally. And that's all I have to say. Now, you might run into someone who honestly says this stuff and believes it, but if they'd go look it up, if they'd learn, they wouldn't believe this. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. And I wish all of you a good day.